Only a few weeks ago, Moomoo and myself traveled from Sweden to Spain. But today we're gonna see if we can travel from here in Taiwan to Europe, since we're here at the 2023 European Education Fair in Taiwan. So not only is this fair the largest European study abroad fair in Taiwan, it's also the only official one, and this year is actually the 20th anniversary of this fair here in Taiwan. And in order to teach you even more about this fair, I got some exclusive interviews with some of the organizers and also some of the European representatives here in Taiwan.
I'm the Director General of the German Institute. My name is Jörg Polster.
My name is Frank Paris. I'm the new head of the French office here in Taipei.
So your name is Paris?
Paris.
Like the city, Paris?
It's a convenient name to be a diplomat.
And we have actually our own institution for organizing academic exchange, which is the DAAD, the German Academic Exchange Service.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I actually took a little sneak peek here already. There are more German universities here than I thought you even had in Germany. There's so many.
This is my first time in Asia, and everybody told me that Taiwan is the good place to have a first experience of Asia.
It's actually my first experience of Asia as well, and I 100% agree and confirm. You just arrived here, so I don't blame you for not knowing this, but I actually have some studying experience here in Taiwan. So I can tell you that studying in Taiwan is already amazing. So why do we want Taiwanese students to leave Taiwan and study in Europe?
Our advice for them is to do both. You have a great place to study here in Taiwan, but you can also find in France and in Europe the best graduations which are of interest for the Taiwanese students. Semiconductor, on energy, on space, these are areas of excellency in France and in Europe. So let's combine the two.
Studies are different in Germany, in Europe, compared to Taiwan. There is a clear distinction between schools and then studies. You organize yourself, how you study, how fast you do, what exactly the components of your studies.
I can only speak about my experience of studying in France and in Europe. Student life in Europe, it's much more than studying. It's also about social life. It's also about discovering culture of a continent, of a country, and also about meeting people.
In Europe, there are special programs for this, to move from one spot to the other. So you can spend part of your studies at one German university, you can move to another one, you can move to a European one. And I think that's interesting as well, to get an idea of the diversity of Europe.
Oh, so you don't have to choose one school or one place and then you're stuck with it. You can jump in between.
Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
Every single country has its own merits, its own culture, its own richness. Once you're in Paris, once you're in Berlin, once you're even in London, all European cultures.
Even in London.
Even in London, you will meet people from Europe, you will meet people from Africa, you will meet people from the US. This is the place to enlarge your horizon.
Any tips or advice for Taiwanese students? Anything that they should know before becoming a European exchange student?
Actually, they should talk to my colleagues of the DAAD to get an idea how studies are done, and then in addition to this, how very normal life happens in Germany. Earlier, any kind of studies in Germany was in German language. Today, many of whatever subject you have in mind is taught in English language.
You know, my personal experience is the Erasmus program. This has been a revolution in Europe because this has allowed thousands of European students like me to travel abroad and to have an experience of what is Europe. This is a time when you experience new things, new sports, and even new food. Taiwanese people also are very foodie people.
Yeah.
They will love Europe because it's incredible richness also for the taste.
And speaking about the Erasmus program, Mark Chang, the coordinator for Erasmus Plus here in Taiwan, also happens to have a lecture here at the fair. But on my way over to Mark, I also saw another familiar face and
someone that you should remember from a previous video here on the channel. Eduardo, how have you been since last time?
Oh, fine.
Oh,
It's
fine.
great to see you.
Have you been back to Spain since we made a video together?
Yes, I've been there. I've been to Madrid.
I've actually also been back to Spain since last time. I went to Malaga, we rented a car, and then we drove up to Sevilla.
Wow.
And it was amazing. So now we're here, we're promoting studying in Spain.
Right. Apart from that, you may learn what Europe is all about, what Spain is all about. As we said in your program, We are the second most visited country in the world. Some of the oldest universities in Europe are in Spain, and we are very happy to be here to interact with Taiwanese students and their parents.
What would you say would be like the biggest difference between studying in Taiwan and studying in Spain?
Studying in Spain would be more fun.
Okay.
Much more fun. So think about that.
But another thing I could not stop thinking about is why the Erasmus program, which is a scholarship program for European citizens, had a lecture and a program here in Taiwan. But thankfully, I was now able to find Mark.
Erasmus for me was a scholarship. Of course, it just meant money as a poor student.
Yeah.
But I thought it was only for like Europeans.
No.
So I'm surprised that you're like here in Taiwan promoting it for Taiwanese.
Actually, the beginning is for European students. 2009, they start to expand this project and include the so-called non-European students.
Yeah, so then you know how old I am then. So I guess I was right. When I first heard about the Erasmus, it was only for Europeans.
Right.
But now it's also for even Taiwanese
Yes.
can take advantage of this. What does like a Taiwanese student need to do in order to like either learn more or also take advantage and join the Erasmus Plus program?
First, you have to choose Europe as your study destination. Then you're looking for all the possible opportunity. Of course, you can go to individual country, but if you are thinking that to go to 3 countries, Erasmus, joint mass program, it will be ideal places. Over 25,000, euro per year for you, including the monthly allowances. Means every month you get a stipend from Europe, 3,000 euro per year, help you to travel among the campus. Basically, the scholarship will actually cover everything you need in Europe. So what you need is actually go to the EU website. Then actually the EU is very transparent. You can find all the information.
And of course, you have all the links you could possibly need down in the description as well. How about for like people, for me, who's already graduated university? Is there anything that you can do for me as well, or is it like too late?
Even your parents can do that.
You don't know my parents. You don't know my parents.
But there's no limit of age. So anyone, if you're interested, you can apply.
I think this might be the most popular lecture. I could barely get in to like record. It was like crowded with people. How is like the Taiwanese average? Like, do they know about Erasmus?
People in Taiwan is not that familiar with Erasmus. Why EU is so generous to offer this kind of scholarship? So I think the visibility of Europe in Taiwan still have some space we need to work on.
So please hurry up. Click the links down below and hurry up to sign up before it gets widely popular and maybe some more competition here in Taiwan. And I'm gonna hurry up, continue with this little tour on the fair, and then of course the rest of the video. So after walking around here for just a few minutes, I have to say I'm a little bit overwhelmed with just the amount of European schools. I think I counted total 83 booths, and it's all different kinds of schools as well. I thought it was just gonna be like, math, management and business. We have anything from like technology to culinary and cooking schools, and also some Swiss hospitality schools, which at least according to a Swede is world famous. So I wanted to have a sit down with the Swiss school as well to get a little bit more understanding of how expensive is it actually to study in Switzerland. Okay, and now we found, who are you?
Andrew is my name.
Andrew, what can you tell me about studying in Switzerland other than the fact that it's not Sweden?
Really, the most important thing to recognise about Swiss education is that it's not a full-time study program. You study for the first 6 months, and then we find you a job in Switzerland with a guaranteed minimum salary. It's about $2,500 every month. And so you do that each year for 3 years, which means you come out with genuine working experience, which is really hard for most of the universities to pull off.
I automatically think like it's too expensive. It doesn't matter how nice the school is, it doesn't matter how beautiful the country is.
Living costs.
I cannot afford it regardless.
But something that most people aren't aware of is basically we provide those living costs within the fees. So we provide, buffet breakfast, buffet dinner, lunch every day. We provide the accommodation. I mean, it's not 5-star, but it's okay. It's pretty good accommodation. If you want to go and buy a coffee and stuff, it's more money than a small car sometimes, but you need a bit of money. But the reality is they come to the school, they study for 6 months full time. There's no work during that time. After that 6 months, we find them a job and they get a real salary, which means at the end of each year, they've got some money in their pocket. They can give that back to mum and dad if they want, but the reality is I want them to be travelling. I mean, travelling is one of the few ways that your mind really expands, and we give them a special B permit which allows them to travel to a bunch of different countries, and we give them a bit of time off, and so it's one of the few opportunities in life they'll have to travel around Europe.
And one of the benefits is that if you then live in Switzerland, traveling around the rest of Europe is going to be super cheap.
So easy, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Would you like a Swedish chocolate? Swiss chocolate, sorry.
Yes, this is a reason to study in Switzerland right there. Just Toblerone chocolate.
Awesome.
Okay, now we're done with this a little bit overwhelming education fair, if I have to be honest. There's simply so many options to choose from. Not only countries, but also I think at least a dozen different universities or other schools in each country as well. But it also feels like there's an overall theme that it doesn't really matter where you go and study in Europe, because it's so close and so convenient to travel in between countries as well. And I think all the different countries, they all promote that the whole student time is not really about just studying, learning what's in the books. It's also to learn everything that is around you, a new country, a new continent, but also a new you. And I can only talk about my own personal experience as a European student in Taiwan, but just having 1 year of studying abroad just taught me so much more about myself, gave me challenges I never would have expected, I never would have had back home in Sweden. And if you want to take this one step further, 12 years later, I'm still here in Taiwan, which was one of these exchange semesters for me. So I was only supposed to be 6 months here in Taiwan, and now I've been 6 months in Taiwan 24 times in a row. So to all you parents who are also watching this and are considering maybe let your child come and study in Europe, please do so. It's going to be the absolute best experience of their life. Just be prepared that this might also be the first experience of their adult life, because they will grow so much as a person, and who knows, maybe find a new life and a new home in a country not so far away back home in Europe. And I should also mention to all of you who sadly missed this amazing education fair here in Taipei, you of course have all the links you can possibly need down in the description, and a link to the European Education Fair Taiwan's website, where you have all information possible about this fair, all the studying opportunities, the Erasmus program, and of course every single school who was here today, and that also that I had an opportunity to talk with here as well. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lukas. Starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. Please do both, and see you all in the next one.